sorry for the fighters that's under their stable, you know what I mean? Because that is his true mindset, to be a slave master. And like I've said it before, that's another thing I've told them during the Joshua negotiation stuff. I said them slave masters. And, you know, and I guarantee you that family was slave masters at one point in time. I guarantee you.
Well, as you guys can see, the difference of what a half a decade can do to any fighter, any mentality, any situation, as you got Deontay Wilder and Eddie Hearn, opposite parts of the world, opposite parts of the spectrum, opposite parts of thought, opposite parts of a lot of things. And you guys know I was going to do one on this because I couldn't just let Deontay off that easy. I mean, I'm happy to see him work together, but at the same time, you have to be held accountable for all the shit that you've stirred over the years, okay? And see what's happening now. You look at all those channels that follow Wilder. Now everybody's okay with Eddie. You weren't before. All of these channels were following Wilder, and Wilder was starting these narratives that Eddie Hearn was a slave master. So that meant, hence, Anthony Joshua was a slave. What? Listen, first of all, slave wages. That's what he called $12.5 million in 2018. Slave wages. Slave wages. That's a contradiction. That's a cliche right there. That's not a such fucking thing. Slave wages? Slaves don't get wages. Okay? Slaves are forced to do labor for free. Free. Not wages. Okay? Indentured servants get somewhat of an incentive later on after they've done a certain amount of work. Slaves do not. They work for free. They are property. Okay? That's what it is. So that's one thing. Second thing, how in the hell do you turn down money that you never made before? And the sad thing about it, there was no accountability. You know, there was just deflection from what he made with Tyson Fury versus what he could have made with Anthony Joshua. See, he fought Tyson Fury and thought that was the easy route. And what happens normally when you cherry pick, you more than likely eventually will run into an ass whooping, and that's exactly what he did. That's what made Tyson Fury Tyson Fury. Vladimir Klitschko was a one-trick pony because he beat Vladimir Klitschko never to return again. He got fat, did cocaine, slept with a whole bunch of women, got drunk, and gained 400 pounds. That's his story. Until he comes back, fights a couple tune-ups, and then fights Deontay Wilder and does something that we didn't think he was going to do. And he almost got knocked out for it, but he got up. And that was the miraculous thing. And then, hey, guess what? A star was born, okay? He didn't win. He didn't lose officially. A lot of people think and thought he won. Like, I thought he outboxed Deontay Wilder, to be fair. But he wasn't big enough at the time to take it away from the champ. So they wrote it a draw. Second time, he could have fought Anthony Joshua. He just decided not to. Okay? Because he still thought it was easier to, quote unquote, finish what he started with Tyson Fury. Okay? And at that same time, Eddie was begging him for a fight. First, they were scared shitless when they were offering you 12.5, 15 million. And the only reason that you agreed, then said you never agreed was because there was no rematch clause. So what? Who cared about a rematch clause? We just wanted to see the fight. You guys weren't destined to really fight 2 or 3 times anyway, because we were just trying to see who the best fighter in the world was that happened to be the champion at the time, and that was Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua unified, Deontay Wilder WBC. That's it. Hell, Floyd never fought Manny Pacquiao again, and that tells you a lot, and look at all the money they made. So it really wasn't about sagas and rematches and all that shit, so I didn't buy that either. Okay? So when he fought Tyson Fury the first time, he drugged Eddie Hearn's name in the mud, called him a slave master, just like you seen in the first clip. Now all of a sudden, 6 years later, he's working with him. But he could have turned the tides a long time ago and said, well, hey, honestly, Anthony Joshua offered me more money than fighting you, but I gave you my word that I would fight you, which is stupid. Okay? And I remember that 78 Sports TV interview that he just did. That interview, he said, yeah, people closest to me have been ripping me off and doing me wrong. And I believe, okay, part of that was the instruction. Part of that was the counsel that he had, okay, that he received from people that's supposed to have been for him. That really wasn't. They were for themselves because they didn't want to see him progress to the next level, because it would take their power away from them, because they knew as long as they kept him in line, they could keep the power and dictate what Deontay Wilder does, regardless of what and how much money he makes, because that wasn't really the point. You know, anybody that has a power trip doesn't really care about money at the end of the day, because it doesn't benefit the fighter. It benefits them. They're going to get paid regardless, but they want to do it their way. That's what the power trip is about. Okay? So him saying all that shit to now be the captain of the Matchroom team, said it's only one fight. You know what? If he knocks out Zhilei Zhang, I guarantee you he'll fight again. Because he'll want to fight Joshua, and then that fight will be demanded if he knocks out Zhilei Zhang. Okay, the man that dropped Parker twice and the man that destroyed Joe Joyce. They will want that fight on a silver platter, and it will happen very soon. And more than likely, it'll happen in Wembley. Okay? It could happen in Wembley. Or Joshua could fight the winner out of Dubois and Hrgovic. Well, I know that. But who would want to see a fight, Anthony Joshua versus Wilder, the one that just knocked out the Chinese Slayer? Or would he want to see the winner on the IBF side? So that's the big question. But it just shows you how you can put your foot in your mouth, okay, and say things that you probably wish you shouldn't have said. Because like slave wages and shit like that, that didn't even make any sense anyway. You know, coming from the second highest paying fighter in the world, how are you going to call somebody a promoter, a slave master, when he promotes the second highest paid fighter in boxing today? And that's Anthony Joshua. That makes no sense. Now you're working with him, go figure. Wilder know what the hell he was doing. He just didn't know what he was doing back in the day, because he really finally woke up. Now here's the thing. The reason why I'm giving him this much stick is because he still wouldn't come forth and say, hey, I was wrong. I shouldn't have said those things about that particular man, because that man got his fighters paid. And we all know what happened with PBC and Al Heyman and company. Those guys used to had to wait for the pay-per-view numbers to come in until they got their money. So like normal people, like Floyd Mayweather, Floyd Mayweather got his check at the end of each fight in the locker room. This man ain't even took his shoes off, and they're handing his ass a check for $100 million or whatever amount of $1 million. That's how it's supposed to be. Each and every fighter. Not, hey, man, wait till Monday, or hey, wait till Monday after next. Or, man, wait till 6 months. Who the hell wants to wait for 6 months when they took a beating in the ring like that? Nobody. I know. I sure hell I don't. I want my money because I did my job. I risked my life. I took punches. I traded blows. I took some. I gave some. I bled. So give me my damn money. That's what he found out what was going on over there. And that never happened with Eddie Hearn. No, 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 no. So guess what? People wake up sometimes. So for Deontay Wilder, hey, we heard what he said. The receipts are there. but look at where he's at. You guys tell me what you think of before and after Deontay Wilder and Eddie Hearn, the story. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunched. Peace!